All right, guys, we are back. Yes, we are back for another episode of the Three Calcioteers. We had that boring or not some boring international break, whatever you guys want to call it. We're back talking about some City A soccer. This is going to be an interesting kind of segment because we're going to be talking about more of coaches in a sense. Uh, an Elliott situation, we know that, and he's been praising it a lot, that Sadi's going to be the next coach. Obviously, he's going to elaborate on that a little bit more. I think for Francesco and I, we've got the bones to pick with our current managers and stuff like that. So let's get to it. Let's not waste any more time. Milan Sampdoria. Nothing really talk about this game. 1-1. I've said it to the lads before we started recording. I feel like Milan's kind of that joke that's been funny at the beginning. They're not a joke as a club or anything like that, but I feel like it's that the joke that it's like you repeat it so many times, it's not funny anymore, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a Milan that unfortunately the title race is slipping from the fingers. The points you're just racking up for Inter, so I think at this point it is Milan's primary objective to qualify for the Champions League. No ifs, ands, or buts. Atlanta squeezing past Udinese 3-2. Now, can we agree on something, guys? Can we see that this season of City A, we're seeing more of a scrappy,
Yeah,
dive to the finish, lore and teams. This
yeah,
is not now. This is City A. This is what
Lower
I like to
scoring
see.
too.
Exactly.
There wasn't because
Exactly.
last year we had a lot of 5-4, 4-3 type of games.
Yeah.
This year we're having 1-0, 2-1 like that. I
Yeah.
think 2-1 is like the most common score in the league this season.
Right, and we look further on. We're gonna talk about more. So look at the Napoli Crotone game. We look at um, Genoa Fiorentina. Obviously, Fiorentina being a really good team or whatever, but Benevento and Parma. Obviously, they're not great teams. But you look at Crotone, for instance. It's like it's been a couple weeks now. They've been kind of fighting. Yeah, they're gonna go down, but they've been kind of fighting. So all I'm saying is that's good to see. It's
Yeah,
and
Napoli
it's
should be
very.
embarrassed. I don't
Oh,
care that they
exactly.
won.
Thank you.
He's
No,
three against
exactly.
the
No,
worst team in the
yeah.
league. That should be
yeah,
embarrassing. I
yeah,
don't know the Napoli scene on Twitter or social media. Wasn't paying attention to it, but if anyone was celebrating, it's a joke. They
yeah,
conceded 3 goals against the worst team in the league, and it
yeah,
almost didn't win that game. So like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that like a scoreline like that is just unusual this season. I feel like.
Well, it's just like the Napoli and Benevento game a couple weeks back. It was like 3-2, and these guys are celebrating like they won a trophy. It's like the dance moves and this and that's. Like, guys, it's Benevento. Like, no, you shouldn't be cheering like that. Like, if it was the top three, top four teams, okay, I get it. Like, cheer a little bit, but like these guys are like, yeah, we got it, yeah. Pouring the brio on themselves in the locker room and stuff like that. Like, come on, like you don't do that. So, again, Napoli Crotone 4-3, Benevento and Parma 2-2. Parma, another team that we know they might go down, but they don't go down without a fight. They scrap, they go in and out.
They almost won too.
We're
Man
seeing
had
your
a header at the end.
yeah, we're
If he
seeing your
just could
boy
have tucked it
man.
a little lower, he would have scored. Plus that
Yeah,
goal to equalize was incredible.
yeah, that was a good equalizer for sure. Um, skip Sassuolo of Roma for a second here. Genoa Fiorentina, Verona Cagliari 2-0 for Verona. Lazio Spezia. Like I don't know how many times I could like you guys can tell by my face right now. I don't know how many like I don't know what to say. This is a team that we beat early on this season 2-0, and we're struggling against Spezia. And I mean, oh, by the way, that goal that Abdullah scored or wherever that
Uh,
player name was, that's I
yeah,
Pretty
think the
cool.
City out goal of the season. That
That was
goal
that was
was
amazing.
just
incredible.
just a breath of fresh air. I was hoping Immobile would do something like that, but whatever.
But
Hey,
guys, by the way, I ran the numbers
yeah, say it,
before my
say it, say
last
it.
podcast on Monday. He's
Yeah.
not. If you take away the Italy games, he is without a goal in 536 minutes. That's like a
Yeah,
month
Holy,
of
yeah,
football.
yeah,
holy.
yeah. And this is the guy that Italy, him and Belotti's like these are our guys. Like these are the our talisman for Italy for Euros. It's like
Nah,
no.
just take Moise Keane and everyone else can stay home.
Well, that's what yeah, and that's what other podcasts are saying too. I'd rather Moiskin too because he's got that fire in his eyes. He's got that ambition. He doesn't care where he is. He's like, I'm gonna go try to score. Like I'm not gonna be. Oh, I'm gonna just stay here and hoping for the ball to come. Like no, I'm gonna go get the ball and I'm gonna go bang it in. Right. So hopefully he can stay healthy, or else we're kind of screwed, but in a sense. Bologna, Inter squeezing past that goal. I was really hoping Inter would at least blow 2 or 3 goals. Again, Bologna's Bologna. They give teams a tough
That
time.
game was boring as hell,
Sometimes
though.
it was boring. It was a snore fest. I was like, oh my god, like it was just nothing really exciting about that. Um, Now let's kind of talk about the Sassuolo and Roma game. Now this was a scrappy game.
Mm-hmm.
Roma obviously being the favorites, Sassuolo kind of being the dark horse, in and out and stuff like that. Jordan back in the lineup, right? He was kind of looking healthy and stuff like that. Um, what was kind of the points you'd kind of take away from that match there, Elliot? Did you feel like they needed more? Obviously, they needed more oomph, but was there something that you would have changed in that sense? I was thinking, okay, guys, like we need to push harder, or was it more kind of okay, we're okay where we're at in a sense?
No, Roma's season is basically dead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not playing well. Ajax are going to be that game is going to be so embarrassing. People
That
think
was
that
so
we have,
funny when you're Twitter to Telling Football TV.
yeah.
Hilarious. That was
I
so
just
funny.
wanted to.
That was
Like
so
I said,
funny.
I
when we
saw that.
were the other time, I don't dislike them. I just think their opinions are delusional.
Yeah.
And they have picked every Italian team that has come across. They've been wrong every single time. So I'm saying, please don't pick us because it's already going to be incredibly difficult. Again, I could list the 7 players I'm worried about. If we were playing Man United, my list would go to about 2. And playing like that, it's not a good. And it's like, I heard somebody, the Roma fan that has his post match videos posted on like the Roma Twitter. I forgot his name, but he had made a video about that Sassuolo are like Ajax, and in a certain sense, they play very similarly, except Ajax are like a million times better.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
if we can't beat Sassuolo, like I actually think that the first leg will be over. I think
Yeah.
we'll get crushed. And then by the second leg, we'll just feel like we don't have any hope, and we'll get crushed again. So like it was just a bad game. But what I said at the time was it was like the most predictable scoreline ever. When Roma scored their second goal, I said we ain't winning this game. Like the second after, I just knew we weren't going to. And the thing is, we probably should have because their 3 best players weren't there, and we were still playing like utter crap. And if it wasn't for the penalty in the first half, I don't think we would have scored. We would have scored, but I don't think we would have ever taken the lead. So it was just like it was like one of those games where the result sucks, but you don't like feel upset or frustrated about it because it was just something that I kind of expected. Jordan comes back and plays pretty well. He had that one chance, but to play like that against a team without their 3 best players is a bad look. But I don't think we learned anything differently. Fonseca is still, I think, can be a good manager, but it's clear that we'll be moving on after the season. It's still clear that we can't really operate in an attacking system without Jordan fully healthy. It's also clear that our defensive issues are there, and we have another defender out for the season. So it's I didn't learn too much, but it's just frustrating. And I know it sounds bad. I didn't even have any sense of hope that we were going to win for even at any point in this game because we were the second best team based on what you saw on the pitch. And then we obviously scored the 2 goals, and Pellegrini, good penalty, whatever. And then Bruno scores the fucking second goal, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like it was just a weird thing. But it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to this because if you play well, then you go into the Ajax with more momentum. And I don't feel like they have it right now. And I really think they need to change the formation on Thursday, or else it's going to be really bad. I bet Anthony will have 2 goals in the first 25 minutes. I think we're just. I think we're going to lose 4-1. I think we'll lose the second like 3-1.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them to do well. Don't get me wrong. I just have no confidence whatsoever. I watch Ajax, once a week sometimes, even before we got matched up with them. There's no way, like if you watch Ajax and if you know the way they play, there's no way you could even legitimately argue that Roma should go through, which is why I tweeted at Italian Football TV, just kind of to poke them a little. To be honest, I didn't expect them to respond at all.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought it was. They responded in a classy way. We didn't have to get into a Twitter spat or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just So it was a stupid game against the Swallow. We couldn't do what we wanted to do. We didn't play well. We probably should have lost. Actually, we got a point. I mean, good for us. 1 point in our last 3 games isn't great. And then we had to go play who I think are going to win the Europa League. So it just sucks. It's at this point in the season where I don't stop caring, but it kind of feels like a drag because we're not. The only thing we're playing for is if we can finish in front of Lazio. We're not getting top 4. That's clear.
Yeah.
And it's weird because one of us isn't going to be in Europe next season because I forgot that the 7th place doesn't have the spot. So, and after the way Italian teams have played in Europe, I'm not even sure we deserve 4 spots based on everything that's gone on. And it's just a mess right now. And I just can't wait for next season where we can, start to rebuild this team and kind of get everything going. Roma are linked with a couple players that I really like. So I what I'm hearing in the press is encouraging. But again, it's just I think I'm just ready for the summer because the season basically was over after we started just laying eggs.
When we talk about we're going to talk to Torino and Juve game in a second. This question is kind of going to blend in a little bit. When we talk about managers, like we said, you're confident that, and I think it'd be a good fit, and we can all agree that Sadi's going to be joining Roma. I think that'd be kind of a great,
fantastic fit.
I think that's great. I think you guys are going to do very well. I hope that would happen. I'm going to be scared. I'm going to have nightmares if Sadi actually becomes the coach because you look at
He's so disrespected too. He won trophies in the last 2 jobs and got fired
exactly.
5 times.
Yeah, that's insane.
The thing with Sarri is, obviously, I mean, it's really between Allegri and Sarri. I don't think we'll get Allegri. I mean, I know you don't like him.
Please do. Please, just take our ad, please.
But
do it before us.
My point on that, I would prefer Sarri at this point. But the thing with Allegri, why I don't think it's on the table, he's not going to return to play to coach a 7th place team. He's going to want to coach a big club and a team that's in Champions League. Sarri hasn't worked since the Juve year, and I don't think he'll have an issue going into a 7th place team because when he took over Napoli, they weren't making the Champions League. So he can build the foundation with what we have. We have, obviously, Jordan. We have Zaniolo will be back. There'll be a few more signings. We'll have Moriel still there. And I'm hoping we'll get another striker. There's some things that need to be kind of figured out. But I think with Sarri, that I think it will work more to an extent than just taking. And I like Fonseca, but I just think it's that hire just makes the most sense. And again, you have at least a year to try to get into the Champions League. I believe if Roma don't make the Champions League next season, Zaniolo will be gone. And again, I've said this for weeks. He saw my Instagram story, so I appreciate that, brother. But I just think that it's hard. If we don't make the Champions League, he's gonna be gone anyway. I wouldn't buy a Zaniolo jersey because in 2 years there's gonna be a different crest on the front of it. But with Sarri, you have a chance to. So the thing with me and Zaniolo, I think the strategic point is holding off the inevitable. Inevitably, Liverpool or Manchester United or Manchester City will sign him. He's not going to be here forever. I hope he is, but I've been a Roma fan my whole life. I know how these things work. So I think with the Zaniolo point, you just try to do as much as you can while he's there because eventually he won't be. And again, I like Zaniolo, but I just know what's coming. And with Sarri, you could work with him and maybe get Roma to the Champions League. Maybe he stays an extra year, and then maybe he leaves the year after that or trying to extend it to a certain point. Because I just don't buy this, I want to be with Roma forever and these loyalty comments. Because I've heard it 100 times. The one that always makes me laugh is the Fabian Delph one. When he was at Aston Villa, he said he was staying 2 days.
I think it was a city.
So with that, I don't buy it. I would buy it with someone who's less high profile. But with someone like him, I just don't think he stays forever. So it's all about trying to maximize as much as you can and trying to get his transfer price to go up while trying to win. But Sarri, I think, would be a perfect fit for Roma.
That's great. And again, I'll be scared shitless if you guys get Sarri. And again, he's such a coach that it's just so disappointing to see that he gets disrespected. He, like we've all said, he wins that Scudetto with Juve, and then they turn around and sack him and get the head and shoulders model Pirlo, who has no coaching experience, maybe some with the U21s, U23s, and then boom, expect him to
I
win
don't
a
think he had a
trophy.
game under his belt yet, did he?
He
Didn't
didn't.
have
No, he didn't.
he
He was
didn't, eh?
supposed, he was supposed to take over, but instead of taking
Right.
over, he just came to
You
the first game.
just drop ship, right? Okay. So when it comes to my end of coaches, again, I heard the terrible news. I heard the terrible news. It's like a passing or something like that. That Inzaghi got the contract extension. I was like, oh my god, here we go, the antics again. I think they just signed this guy just to get the entertainment. Again, I've said it again. This guy changes the formation once every 100 years. He's got this delusion that this whole 3-5-2 is always going to work, and he's always got this delusion behind his players, which I get it. I like a coach that is going to believe behind his players and stuff like that. But again, the nail to the coffin was the whole Bayern Munich thing, and he got this delusion that he had a chance, and okay, we're going to do 3-5-2. We're going to see what happens, and they got demolished.
So stupid.
And that was and it's just disgusting. So for me, and there's other reasons why and stuff like that. And everybody knows me; they know those reasons. If I were to pick a obviously we don't have the money because our president's too greedy and cheap. I think we'd go someone for a Juric from Verona. I think he'd be a great coach for the Lazio side.
It'd be amazing, yeah.
He's more mature. You're not going to see him jump through rings of fire on the sidelines like Inzaghi does. You're not going to see Inzaghi's mouth touch the floor every time he says something. And I think at this point too, even the players love Inzaghi. We get that, but I feel like I'm willing to bet my Busta money from when I was 5 years old. I've all the times communions, Christmas. I'm willing to bet that money that the players from Lazio, I'm sure they've said to Inzaghi or on the sideline or murmured underneath their breath, dude, shut up. Stop running from our side to the opposite, like to down the line there where we're trying to go for a goal. Stop doing that. I can score a goal on my own. Thank you. So I think Jude coming in, he's going to bring the experience. Obviously, not the winning title experience, but that maturity. And I feel like it's going to eliminate that friendship coach thing, but not too much where the players are going to hate him or they're going to throw mutiny towards him, right? So that's my opinion. We talk about further the games. We got the Juve Torino 2-2. Francesco, we know that you want to get rid of, like, come on, like, are you going to be that small percentage to save Pirlo? I mean, obviously, we know that you hate Mazzaregli. He was at the game. It looks like he may go back to Juve. What's your kind of intake? Like, what would be your intake in that sense of the whole possible illegal return, or we stay with Pirlo, or we go with another option? Like what's your mind going at right now as a Juve fan?
I think we have to keep Pirlo. I think it'd be stupid to sack him after a year. We have to understand, based off Pirlo's project, I don't want to make excuses for him, but he's had a missing Dybala for basically the whole season due to injury, COVID, whatever it may be. He hasn't really had a transfer window to kind of buy the players he wants to. And Ronaldo's been out of form this season, even though he has like X amount of goals in Serie A. There's been too many games where he's been a ghost. I think Pirlo, he has to be given a chance, opportunities, especially with Allegri like rumored back. If Allegri's fine to come back under Pirlo's staff as an assistant manager, I'm all for it. But what this guy did, I've been piecing the puzzles together. He just randomly on one day decided to talk to the media after 2 years. He's admitted to not watching the sport for the 2 years, which I don't know what he was doing. If I don't want him to be the coach, if you're passionate about soccer, passionate about the job, you're not just going to say, okay, I'm done watching the sport for 2 years. It just doesn't happen. You're addicted to it. So it shows that he doesn't have a true passion and love for soccer. So he shouldn't be the manager in the first place. But Pirlo is inexperienced. I was never a fan of Tudor being the assistant manager. Every year I kind of have a liking to the assistant manager when we have a thing. Martesquilo is one of my favorite assistant managers. I grew a liking to him. Tudor, I haven't even seen him on the sidelines. Like, I'm sure he's there. Like, I see him from time to time, but he's not getting involved in the plays like he should. I don't know what he's doing in training, but I think Pirlo needs an assistant manager with experience, so it kind of balances out his inexperience. But like I said, I don't think he should be sacked because we saw what happened with Sadi. You got to give these managers time to build their plan. Pep Guardiola didn't win with City the first year he coached. Jurgen Klopp didn't win with Liverpool the first year he coached. You got to give the managers time to develop their project. And I think Pirlo is going to be something special in the future. We just got to give him time. Obviously, it's not easy for Juve fans to say, "Oh, we want to win now." When Conte is leading with Inter, another one. Conte didn't win in his first year with Inter. This is what his third season in charge, and now he's finally winning. And even with that, he crashed out of the Champions League in fourth place. I mean, so he's winning the Scudetto with Inter because Inter trusted him and gave him time to build what he wanted. I think that's what we need with Pirlo. Yeah, like I said, Allegri, I think it was all in his plans all along. He just randomly chose a random date to go in the media, and now he's all of a sudden watching the sport again. Now he's talking to the media almost every other day, and now coincidentally he is watching the game with Agnelli against Torino. I mean, I don't like what's going on behind the scenes, but hopefully Allegri doesn't come back. I mean, if he does, it is what it is. But I think he needs to be given another, at least another season. And if he goes trophyless or like doesn't win the Scudetto, doesn't do what the Juve board want, then I say it's time to cancel the plans. But I think he at least deserves another season to kind of flourish with his plans.
I heard there's rumors.
Real quick, I have a question. Real quick. So with this situation, obviously, if you're thinking about Pillow in like a long-term type of way, would you adjust sort of the expectation that Juve have on him just to see him sort of grow? So is it still Scudettos necessary, or do you see a situation where you give him maybe a little more leeway, especially if you're trying to build his team?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of Juve fans are aware that we're in a rebuilding stage. I mean, the reports, I don't know how credible they are just yet, but the reports that we're not going to go ahead with Morata, we're not going to renew his loan for next season, which means we're looking for another striker. Yeah. We're not linked with Aguero, to my understanding, which means we're going for young talent. We're going to rebuild, to build another dynasty for the next X amount of years. So we can't be expected to win the Scudetto when we're in a rebuilding phase. It doesn't work like that. If we can't just go half and half, because that's where the situation we're in now, where we can't really do that. So I think we have to like just hold back. Give, let's say, Pirlo 3 years. This is first year. Give him an extra 2 years. Just fully let him build his team, and obviously the team's good enough to compete in the Scudetto race, the Champions League. So let them play to win, obviously, but don't expect him to say, okay, if Pirlo doesn't win the Scudetto, he's out. If Pirlo's out of the Champions League, he's out. I think we got to give him leeway, especially since this is his first team he's coaching. It's not an easy job. The only thing I don't like about Pirlo is there's always the one manager who has a relationship with a shit player. With Allegri, it was Khedira. I don't know what he saw in the guy, but he always played. Sadi, it was Bernardeschi. Again, he always played under Sadi. I don't know why. With Pirlo, it's Szczesny. Mistake after mistake. I don't know how this guy is on the team. I don't know how. If I was Pinsoglio, I'd be ripping my eyes out watching. The guy's watching and he's saying, Pinsoglio was supposed to play if Szczesny tested positive for COVID. Pinsoglio was watching that game against Torino. It's like, he was mouthing, I would have made that save to Buffon and everyone else. I mean, come on. I don't know. Mistake after mistake, and Pirlo keeps because the media understands this. They keep saying, "Oh, Szczesny's going to start next game," and Pirlo keeps like grabbing Szczesny's back. So Szczesny has the confidence behind him. I don't know what it is with this guy, but he needs to go ASAP. I don't care. Get him rid for free. I don't care what happens with this guy.
I think it's the pierogies. I think he's sneaking pierogies in the locker room, and Pirlo's just loving them.
I don't know what happened. But I mean, he's not playing his best. He's not playing his best friend.
No.
He's playing Szczesny. He's I would say one of the key reasons why we're doing so poorly this season. The amount of mistakes he's let in that led to goals is just it's unacceptable.
Yeah. How do you feel? Yeah. How do you feel about the recent rumors flying out of the woodwork with Lippi possibly being part of the staff and the Bernardeschi Romagnoli swap and stuff like that? I'm sure there was kind of mixed emotions. Well, good emotions, right? Because I'm sure you being a Juve player, you'd want Romagnoli instead of Bernardeschi. And then I don't know how true this is, but I've heard whispers or rumors that Lippi, not being a full-time coach, but just to be part of that backroom staff.
Yeah,
I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah, there were reports of him being a technical director, which I'm all for it. I think Lippi is one of the best Juventus managers of all time. He's only the second manager to win the Champions League for Juventus. So I think him being in the locker room, him being a part of Juventus, is such a big factor that's much needed. He could show Pirlo some secrets. He could obviously talk to the team and give them some feedback. Um, in terms of the swap deal, I think there's nothing more rather than I would do. Bernadeschi, I like him, but I don't think he's a Juve player. I think he needs time to develop his game. Obviously, we've seen him for the Azzurri, and he plays well for them. I think he plays well in certain systems, and he needs a lot of time to develop his game. And I think at Milan, he'll start. He'll play more minutes, and that's what he needs, especially since he's young, but he's not that young, but he still is developing his game. I think at Milan he would do well there. And then Romagnoli, obviously Chiellini's more than likely to retire at the end of the season. So I mean, we need a backup center back. I'm not confident Paolo Gozzi and Di Mirel are two backups. I'd be more confident Romagnoli, Di Mirel. So I think that works out for both teams perfectly. So hopefully that's true, and I would do that in a heartbeat.
One question again. Sorry, when we look at the lineup here, what the hell was Pirlo thinking putting Butancur and Daniolo up in the center mids?
I have no idea. I think he tried to tweak something. Obviously, the other plans weren't working. He didn't have McKennie and Artur Duda. They were partying at their house, whatever that whole disappointing situation was. So obviously, maybe Rabiot. I don't know what Rabiot wasn't there, or I don't know why Danilo was there in the first place. But he was. I wouldn't say he was bad, but he wasn't good. He wasn't influential in the play at all. He was kind of just like roaming around, running, got the ball a couple of times, but that was about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I looked at it, I was like, Rabiot is there. I know he's not great for you guys, but like throw him in there. Like I don't like Daniolo. I'm sure we can all agree on that. As I just don't like him when he even went to Juve in general after the Cancelo thing. I was like, what? It was insane. Like
one of the biggest robberies I've ever seen. Danilo.
Oh yeah,
that looks like, bad now.
Oh yeah,
it looked back from the start. Just no Juve fan realized it.
Yeah. That's insane. Cancelo for me, I think he's so great. Like he had his kind of shaky moments, but he played well with the Inter and he played extremely well with Juventus. Unbelievable.
And even better with Man City. I mean,
oh my gosh,
he's one of the best at that position in world football.
Oh my god!
And they swapped Danilo, who's a good player, but it's you're not getting nearly as much on the return of that swap. It just makes the whole thing look really horrible.
Yeah.
That's cheap magic.
When we talk about tomorrow's game, guys, Juve Napoli. Now we got some time to kill. Let's talk about some of the predictions going on. What do you guys think? I think it's going to be a tie only because Napoli, to me, yeah, they're winning this, but I feel like their cockiness or something's going on where they're cheering and they have this energy that's too much, too positive, and I feel like it's going to bite them in the ass against Juventus. And then you look at the Juventus side that they're still struggling, obviously with Pirlo and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't feel like there's going to be a winner coming out of this. I don't know if you guys agree, disagree. If you guys want to chime in.
I thought about a tie, but I don't know. It's always weird when you play against a relegation side and they make you look like you had to really work for it. Yeah. And I know Torino just drew with Juve, and you had Antonio Sanabria looking like there you got problems on both sides. But I don't know. I just feel like Juve are going to get some, and it's not going to be like a dominating performance. It's going to be some stupid goal coming off a corner kick or something like that, or a free kick or a penalty or a tap in. It's going to be something simple. It's not going to be like Juve's not going to walk away from that saying, "Oh, we're back" or anything like that. But I think Juve are going to win 1-0 because I think Napoli, they celebrated the fact that they beat a team that they should have beaten 4-0. I mean, they almost lost that game, and I feel because of that reason, Napoli is just not in a good position to go into this game because they're gonna look at this and go, okay, Juve got drop points, so we're equals, and then they're going to kind of look at it in a bad way, and I think they're going to. It was just a weird thing because Napoli has not played that well this season. But the problem is most of the teams in the league haven't played that well. So because of the not lack of quality, but lack of, I guess, high quality among the Champions League places, that's why they're in there. There's no other reason they are. And I think even Juventus has a, what I call a yes man as a manager, kind of, and someone who kind of just makes substitutions. And he's got, obviously, Pillar has some qualities as well, but I just feel like it just set up to be an ugly game, and I think Juventus are going to take it because Juventus historically have winning intangibles, and Napoli historically choke away the two titles that they should have won. Sorry. So because of the mental advantage, I'm going Juve, but only because Napoli, both teams are not looking good right now. But I think Juve probably win it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope you're right. But the only issue I see is last time Napoli-Juve played, Napoli were on horrible form. And I always say this, Napoli against Juve, Napoli always have a switch on just for Juve. They could play horribly. Napoli could be 20th place in the Serie A, and when they face Juve, they have a switch to turn into prime Barcelona, and they always find a way to beat us. I mean, last game we saw Meret turn into prime Buffon over there with some like Spider-Man like saves. I don't know what he was on, but I mean, I want to say Juve are gonna win. Obviously, we have that extra motivation. The reports are going crazy. Pirlo loses this game. He's out right away. Allegri did not
They said it last week too.
Yeah, they've been saying it's been Pirlo's on that thin rope. So I think Pirlo is very nervous and he wants to make sure he gets this win. I think the team obviously right now we're fighting for top four. We're fighting for Europa League at this point. So I mean, I think the team wants this win. They need this win. Dybala's looking like he's healthy to play. I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know if he's going to play at all. But so that could be like an guy's bright spot in the team. But other than that, both teams are looking poor. Juve have that extra motivation to win, but Napoli always have that extra motivation against Juventus. So let's hope. Like Elliot said, I hope Juventus win. I don't care how ugly it is. I don't care how beautiful it is. I just hope we get the win and get out of there. But I don't know if it's going to become a free kick goal. I mean, Ronaldo's one for I think 1 for 77.
It won't be him. They score for
Yeah,
he's like 1%. He's like 1 for 77 at Juventus a free kick. So I mean,
yeah.
The question I have about that though is, did Napoli use too much of their sort of drive and energy to pull away from a Crotone team that gave them?
I hope so.
Because that's my theory of why Napoli wouldn't be able to do it, because all this extra motivation that they have against Juventus, they used at least 30% of it to try to beat the last place team, Crotone, who I think it was like 3-1 at one point, and then it became a battle at the very end, and obviously they pulled through. But they nearly didn't, and because of that, I think it took a lot of energy in the tank. And again, if this game and that game is a week apart, then it's a different situation. But the fact that they have to play 3 days or a couple days after, they just use a lot of energy to try to pull away from Crotone.
Yeah,
makes me think that maybe they don't have that something extra in the tank to do what they usually do against Juve. But I could be wrong. I think it's a coin flip, but
I hope you're right.
Slightly favor with Juve.
I'm just surprised this game's going on in the first place. I mean,
yes,
after 2 times of being canceled or postponed or whatever it was.
The last time Napoli had 2 COVID cases and the game got postponed. Juve have 3 and the game's going on, so it doesn't really make sense here.
Yeah.
They should just put that at the end of the season, like a match day 39 for the last game of the year or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they couldn't because then Napoli wouldn't be able to cancel the game again.
That's a good point.
No, all of our boys from Napoli, Toronto, be like, just throwing their face, stuff like that. Now, interesting predictions. I think they're very well. Obviously, we were all hoping for kind of more oomph and a heated kind of prediction from all of us, but I feel like it's kind of be the kind of a flat line right now. We'll see what happens. And you guys are right. It does look like it's going to be kind of a flimsy goal or free kick or whatever. Yeah. Nothing kind of crazy, right?
It won't be domination for either team.
No, that's for sure. Now we're looking at Inter Sassuolo. I'm not too sure about this game because I know Sassuolo's been giving other teams a tough time, but I just feel like it's Inter. I feel like they're gonna. I don't think
They're
they're
at
gonna.
home. Inter's at home too, and they
It's
lost
yeah.
3-0 away from home. So I don't know.
I
Against
think
any other team, I feel like maybe it would be different, but I don't know if it's going to be easy, but I think Inter win it. It's hard for
yeah,
me to
that's what
imagine
I'm
they're not.
going. I think it's going to be like a slight edge. I don't think it would be kind of a Bologna slight win. I think it's going to be kind of like a 2-1.
Yeah,
Sassuolo
that's what
are
I
going to
think.
fight back. I think for sure. Sassuolo are definitely going to fight back. They're not going to take a loss for Nance or anything like that. They're going to try to do for a draw, but I think that Conte's men, they're going to come in there and they're going to start smashing in some nets and stuff like that. Not a high scoring game, but I think 2-1 for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I just want them. I want Inter to mathematically win the title before they play us, because I don't want them to celebrate while we're over there against them. Because I remember one year we lost. We didn't. Well, Juve won the league in Rome, and it irritated me. So I hope that Inter, if they win the league, I don't want them to be mathematically clinching that when they play Roma. So I think if Inter win their next 3 games and Milan drops just one point, because it's already, if they win that one, it's 11 points, and then there's and if they win 2 more and AC Milan lose a game, then it'll be over, because but yeah, this is going to be tough though. This is going to be probably one of the more difficult games that they have left on their schedule, especially it's a short rest as well. So I think Sassuolo could get a point just because there's Sassuolo and the team did say they did that. I mean, they got a point against us without their 3 best players, and assumingly at least some of those guys will be back. So I think Inter will win, but I don't really care at this point. Inter are going to win the league. Sassuolo aren't going to make the Europa League. So regardless of the result, it doesn't prove anything for either team. It's just a match on the schedule.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And what do you think, Francesco? Before we sign off here, what do you think there?
This game pisses me off a lot.
Surprise!
Before the break, this game, when it was supposed to happen, Handanovic was out due to COVID, Di Vrij was out due to COVID, and Vecino was out due to COVID. But Vecino doesn't matter because he doesn't play for Inter anyway. He doesn't even he sits on the bench and never plays. So his impact on the team has 0 impact. So realistically, 2 players were out due to COVID. Inter postponed that game. Again, I don't understand. 2 players out.
It's going to be a Raku masterclass.
Now Sassuolo have 3 players out due to COVID, and they're the 3 best players with Locatelli, Berardi, and Caputo. The 3 best players out due to COVID, and the game's going on. I mean, I hope Sassuolo win without those players, just to prove to Inter, saying, hey, we'll beat you with any team, I don't care. But this is the Lega just seeing Inter and say, okay, we want you guys to win the league here. We're not going to postpone this game for Sassuolo's sakes. Go play. It's an easy win for you guys. I just hope Sassuolo puts up a fight and get the job done. But like Elliot said, it's going to be a win for Inter, because their players are recovered from COVID, and Sassuolo, they're facing a wounded Sassuolo team. So
yeah, interesting, very interesting. Before we get going, guys, I'll just read off match day 30 games, and then we'll close it off. And then next week we'll get more of the nitty gritty bit of the games, because we're back now. No more international friendlies until what? Euros?
September.
Euros, right?
Oh yeah,
Euros. So yeah, and at some point we're gonna do a Euro thing as well too.
People are getting really mad at where it'll be knocked out. I've already, I have them not. I'm not gonna say, but I have them getting knocked out by a team that people are just gonna lose their minds.
I can't wait. It's gonna be great. So match day 30, we've got Spezia and Crotone, Parma, Milan, Udinese, Torino, Inter, Cagliari, which again, like, we're kind of looking at a pattern here with Inter, Sassuolo, then Cagliari. It's like, you know what I mean? Verona, Lazio, that I'm kind of nervous about.
That's gonna be
Juventus, it's gonna be exactly. I feel like lasagna is gonna give us an upset for sure. Juventus, Genoa, Sampdoria, Napoli, Roma, Bologna. Elliot, you guys better do the job done, eh? Swear to God.
I swear it's gonna be another 2-2 draw.
Fiorentina,
2-2 draws throughout the rest of the season.
I can just imagine Elliot just like just rip his jersey. He has his AS Roma mug, smashes it.
It's like when they let when they let me down, I'm not surprised by it. It's like, okay,
yeah.
I'm not going to be happy about it. I really hope we win this game. I just need the satisfaction of victory before, because we have Inter, I think, a couple games after that, and that's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. So, fingers crossed. Not really, though. But we'll see what happens. Fiorentina Atlanta, and finishing off with Benevento Sassuolo. All right, guys. So, this concludes our episode of the Calcioteers. Guys, again, thank you so much. It was a great episode. Very interesting to see what's going to happen with the whole coach situation. Again, you guys are kind of lucky in a sense because you have the possibility of getting a new coach, or you may stay with the current coach. On the other hand, I have to deal with the grueling hell of staying with one coach for another 2-3 years, unless you get sacked, which I doubt. But anyways, everyone out there who's listening, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube. And yeah, guys, so thank you so much. Ciao, ragazzi. We'll see you guys soon.
Ciao.
See you guys.